Well, welcome to the Leicester Mercury, and we're talking Leicester City today, and the transfer window is open. First piece of business has been done as expected. Callum Elder, the young Australian left-back, has moved to Ipswich Town on loan. Now, it's going to be a case of more of outs than ins, we think, in the January window for Leicester City. Callum will be the first of a few as Claude Puel looks to rebalance his squad, as he puts it. There's a plethora of central midfielders for a start off, and we expect several of those to move on. Andy King has not featured at all for City this season. He's been left out of the Premier League squad. We're expecting him to move on during the January transfer window. Whether that's a loan or permanent, we'll see. He's still got a year left on his contract. Adrian Silva as well, has very real possibility of him returning to Sporting Lisbon on loan. The Portugal international has failed to get into the side and establish himself at City. He's had a really problematic time at the club since his £25 million move from Sporting. Everybody knows now the registration was received too late, and he was banned until a year ago, January, when he made his debut in the FA Cup. So it's 1 year on since he was allowed to play and participate for City by FIFA. But he hasn't really had the impact that many people would have thought, and he certainly doesn't seem to feature in Claude Puel's plans, as he opts for more defensive-minded midfield players. Wilfred Ndidi, Papi Mendy and Hamza Chowdhury has even emerged in recent weeks as a favourite of Puel. But also a little spanner in the works. Now, we've understood that this wasn't actually one of Leicester City's plans, really, to let Vicente Iborra go out. But there's been consistent reports in Spain that Iborra is going to be allowed to go to Villarreal. Now, we've asked the club about this, and they're going to look into it as well for us. But Villarreal, it's a bit of a wild card. Now, I don't think City were too keen on allowing Iborra to go to leave. So unless something has happened in recent weeks that he's asked to leave, or he's made it clear that he's not happy in England, or he's struggled to settle since his arrival from Seville, then that might be a possibility. But they seem to be reporting in Spain that this is they're very confident they're going to land Iborra. Now, that might change a few things, because we weren't expecting Leicester City to make any signings. I don't think Puel was looking to bring in anybody during January. But if he loses players that he wasn't expecting to lose, or it decides to make changes, then there will be players coming in. Now, that make it interesting, because if Silva, King and Iborra all leave, that leaves City with Mendy, Ndidi, Chowdhury and Matty James, who's just returning from injury. So I suspect that he might look at that area and decide to strengthen there. Now, as I said, we weren't expecting City to make signings, and certainly if they do, there won't be many of them. But that might be an area they look at. Another area that could be possibly an area they look at is up front. Jamie Vardy, there's a bit of a reliance on him. Kelechi Iheanacho is going through a difficult time with his confidence, his performances. Some of the fans haven't helped the situation by jeering him when he's come on. But he's struggling a little bit at the moment. And certainly Rashid Ghezzal's form has been patchy at best. So there might be City looking at bringing in a wide player as well. But we'll have to wait and see what transpires over the January transfer window. But in brief, it'll be a case of more players going out than players coming in at Leicester City. As usual, check on Leicestershire Live for all the transfer updates and all the rumours as well. And we'll bring you stories from this weekend's press conference ahead of the FA Cup clash at Newport County.